Hey guys, so moving on, we're going to start talking about more features that you can actually use ChatGPT for, right? And I'm going to start with comparison. You can actually use ChatGPT for comparison. So let's say you can ask it the question, cat versus dog, which is a better pet, right? They are comparing cats and dog together, right? So it's going to give you the maybe advantages of having a cat as a pet. It's going to give you the advantage of having dogs as a pet, and then it's going to give you his own opinion about the whole question that you asked, right? So that's just what you can do for comparison. You can say Messi versus Ronaldo, who is a better footballer, right? Adaptive is going to support any particular person, but it's going to talk about the futures of the two and then give you his own opinion about the whole stuff. So let me do something else. Let's say Messi versus Rashford. Who is the better? Rashford, right? Who is a better footballer? She is obvious that it's Messi. So let's see what ChatGPT is gonna say, right? Um. Okay. Let's see. Okay, he said Messi is widely considered superior to Rashford. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think ChatGPT is very accurate here. All right, so moving on, we're going to also talk about you can limit the number of words that you get from ChatGPT. You can say, okay, give me this response in 200 words. See, one of the difference between ChatGPT and just basically asking Google for questions or even Google Assistant questions is that ChatGPT, you have the ability to customize the response that you want. What I mean by customize the response that you want, you can say in 200 words, explain this. Simple example, let's go. Say in 200 words, right? Write a love letter to help me. Okay, help me write a love letter to my wife, Kate, for Valentine. Right? So you can customize and say, I want it in 200 words. You can start to say, I want it in a poem form, right? You can say, I want you to talk like Barack Obama when writing this love letter. Like, you can literally customize the kind of response that you want. So that's the advantage of like you literally using ChatGPT. So you can read through the response. My dearest Kate, on this special day of love, I want to express the depth of my affection for you. For the moment our paths intertwined, and if you want a different response, you can tap on regenerate response and it will come with a different response for you. You can see how awesome ChatGPT is. But please guys, if you're using it for a love letter, make sure you go through what it's saying before you send it. Right? Don't just copy and paste words, everything that comes out of ChatGPT. Sometimes it's what's actually going through it first before you send it to any person. I just wanted to add that, right? And some other things you can also do is you can ask it a question and say expatiate more. So you can say, what is an ocean? What is an ocean? Right? So it's going to answer your question. You can say, give more or expatiate on this answer. Let's just say, give more details. Give more details. Just say, give more details. Right? And one thing I want to really, really put out here, guys, is that when you're asking ChatGPT a question, you don't necessarily just have to ask a one-off question, right? So what I mean by that is that you can actually have a series of questions that are on the same initial question that you asked. For example, you can ask ChatGPT a question, it gives you a response, and then you can also expatiate on that answer that you give me. You can now say, okay, that answer that you give me, make it in 200 words, right? Answer me in 200 words. You cannot say, answer me in Italian language, right? So when you're asking ChatGPT a question, you can actually ask follow-up questions on it, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So we asked what is an ocean, and it gave us an answer, right? So we're going to say give more details, and let's see what happens. So it's giving more details on it, right? Right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you can even now say, okay, so write me a poem about the Pacific Ocean. So you can now, you know, go and talk more about, like, so you can actually ask it a series of follow-up questions to the initial question that you asked ChatGPT.